Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Mavs Edge Student Intern Panel. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Julie Moy. I'm the Internship Coordinator at the Career Development Center, and I am joined by David Powers, the Assistant Director of Internships. We are so excited about the group of students who've agreed to participate in this panel this afternoon. They all have such interesting experiences, very diverse experiences, so I know you'll benefit from hearing about their experiences. As David had mentioned earlier, you can send questions to the panel at any time using the question and answer feature. And then towards the end of the discussion, we'll address some of those questions as time permits. So now let's get to the good stuff. Let's meet our panel. Michelle, we'll start with you if you want to just go around and do brief introductions.
Sure, thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Rishabh Kuntia. I am a master's student majoring in computer science, and this is my last semester at UT Arlington. So my previous internship was at Paycom, which was this summer 2023. It was a 3-month program where I was, working as a full stack developer intern. My experience at Paycom was pretty good. I mean, I was given the setting of a real full-time developer working and, mirroring how's the life of a full-time developer looks like. So the project was around 2.5 months, packed of work and fun together. So yeah, that was my all experience.
Awesome. Thank you, Rishabh. And we'll go ahead and meet the rest of our panelists. Michelle, would you like to go next?
Hi, everyone. My name is Michelle. I am a critical languages and international studies major with a focus in Korean. It's a very long name. And I also minor in localization and translation with a focus in Korean. And I'm currently pursuing project management. I am a senior and I'll be graduating next semester.
Fantastic. And Humeria, let's hear from you.
Yeah, hello. Hi, everyone. I'm Humaira. I'm a master's student at UT Arlington pursuing MS in data science, and this is my 3rd semester at UTA. Apart from that, I'm also currently working at Basic Insurance as a data analytics intern. And this is my first internship, basically. And I would like to be an entrepreneur supporting multiple business establishments and improvising their business and revenues with data dynamics for now. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. And last but not least, Darsh, tell us about yourself.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Darsh, and I'm majoring my master's degree in electrical engineering. I was interning at Seagate. I spent my summer in Minneapolis, probably the best time to be there, in Twin Cities. So it was a great experience. I was working as an optical and process integration engineer, working for products in Seagate, supporting the cloud storage data structures, probably the Teams meeting that we're having right now, the iClouds, the OneDrive that's supported by Seagate drives. So one of the biggest companies out there for hard drive business. And it was a great pleasure, humbled to be part of Seagate's wafer process integration group, which makes the wafers that we see. And it was always a passion for me to know what's going on the backside of the hardware phone and what's behind the phone that makes it running and supports the software. So that's forging me ahead to go into the semiconductor industry. On the manufacturing side, how do you make high-class, high-level chips? And with Seagate, I had a good summer with them, spending this time in internship. So it was a good fun internship, learning full experience.
Awesome. Well, we're going to dive in a little deeper, but first I'd like to point out that 3 of our panelists have interned with our Mavs Edge partners, Basic Insurance, Paycom, and City of Carrollton. They're all Mavs Edge partners, which is an internship program here on UTA's campus. And so now that we've met everyone and I've introduced our Mavs Edge partners, let's take a deeper dive and learn more about your experiences. So we'll start with you, Rashid. We'll just keep going with the order that we have. Tell us a little more detail about your experience. Like, when did you intern? Where? Exactly what was your role? What kind of projects did you work on?
Okay, so it all started with like as Paycom is have their own career development workshops. So I was into that workshop and I got to know about Paycom. So the Paycom, the basic products that they do is the payroll. They make the payroll softwares, and also they do the HR management from hiring to retirement, like all the kind of software that's needed. So they usually make those kind of softwares. And yeah, so I applied to Paycom and I got an interview invite. So that was a three-step process, I believe. And the first one was a phone screening process where they got to know about me, and then how's the rest of the process going to be, and they'll be giving feedback at every other process. So first was a telephonic screening, then the second round was a technical round. It was from a software developer at Paycom. It was around half an hour. Some lead code questions, OOPS concepts, and database questions. So that was half an hour. And then another screening to let me know that I was qualified for the interview. And there was a final round, which was from a senior software developer at Paycom. So that was also another half an hour. So the process that I'm saying, it took around 3 weeks of time, and it was pretty back to back. So hearing back from them, getting the feedback. And after my final interview, the next week, I got to know that they have extended me the offer. So this Paycom, the headquarters are at Oklahoma, and they have their presence here at Grapevine and the North Texas hub. So I was interning here, which is 30 minutes from UT Arlington. And my experience at Paycom was like they hire pretty very vast, diverse of profiles. But I was for the software developer intern, like there will be different projects, but I was mainly focused on full stack development. It was a cookie management service, which was something that they wanted internally into their softwares. Yeah, the project's baseline is pretty much industry oriented, where you feel proud that you are working on something which will be utilized in the company, or maybe given to other clients. So that was the best part. And my internship was work every day. And every Friday we used to have meetings with all the all the mentors, all the panelists, just to chat around how was the week like. They used to take feedback from us every week, how we used to take feedback from them also, how we are doing, and they used to take feedback what we can do next summer to improve. So that was a very good thing, that there was a two-sided feedback where everyone gets a chance to improve. And basically, when we are doing masters, we get to do only one summer internship, right? And that's really important for like international students, because that's the only chance, if you do well at internship, that might get converted to a full-time job, or you make good connections which will help you in your career going forward. We had like going to the fun aspect, we had a lot of fun. Like we celebrated internship days, we had movie nights, we went to this networking events where we met people from the company which we would have never met if those events would have not been in place. The best thing was, after, like, apart from work, you get to interact with a lot other people who are in the company, where you get to know about how the culture is. Like I talked with a bunch of people who have been from the oldest time to who have been, in the mid of their career, and have got to know their feedbacks of how is the company, especially coming from an international student. Like how do they honor, like how do they do your immigration, like how is the immigration system there, and and what are the facilities do they give, so that you get a better idea of, yeah, you're going to continue here. If they give you offer for a job, you get a better clarity. So these things helped me a lot in my internship. Yeah, that would be it.
Well, Rashab, you hit upon so many things that are important in an internship, that mentoring and supervision and constant feedback. It sounds like that was a very enriching experience for you. And so I think that's something that we look for when we're approving internships in Handshake. We definitely want to see that supervision mentorship part of the piece. So I'm glad that you got to experience that and have some fun too. And I don't want to spoil your news, but you talked about becoming a full-time position. Has that happened for you at Paycom?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to be shy about it. I mean, that's really exciting. And we're proud of you.
Yeah, they were pretty quick at it. I mean, after the work, they extended a full-time offer.
Very, very nice. All right. Well, we will let someone else have a chance. Michelle, tell us about your internship with City of Carrollton.
So I am currently the esports intern for the city of Carrollton. I didn't realize the UTA was like a Mavs Edge partner with the city of Carrollton, but yeah, I found this position through LinkedIn and I just applied. I did not think I was going to get it because, as you heard my major earlier, it's language studies, but I ended up getting the position. And basically, my responsibilities include like creating strategic and promotional marketing plans for our esports program and making user research surveys so we can make like data-driven decisions to expand and grow our community. I also provide like event and logistical event support for our past events. This internship has been super hands-on, and my supervisor has given me like a lot of autonomy and support. And I have like every week we do like a meeting, like Rishab's, sorry, am I pronouncing your name wrong? Rishab's internship where we like meet every week and we talk about like feedback and what I can do and what ideas that I want to execute. So it's been a very supportive internship. I'm given a lot of autonomy to create and pitch and execute my own ideas, which I've never had that much reign, I guess, before in like a job. I've mostly worked service jobs. I've never had much professional experience before this. So I've gotten to do really cool things as like the esports intern, as you know, because it's competitive gaming, right? Like I don't have a PC at work. Sometimes I'll like play a game or something. And I think that experience has really shown me like competitive gaming is not just about like playing in your with yourself alone in a room. It's a huge community. There's a lot of high school leagues that play tournaments and stuff. And I feel like this internship has been really fulfilling in my values, like creating community, being able to serve. And I work for the city of Carrollton, which is a municipality, which their whole mission is to serve the community. So yeah, I've been really enjoying my internship as the esports intern. They have a bunch of other interns in other departments. So if anyone wants to intern for the city of Carrollton, I highly recommend it.
Thank you, Michelle. I have to ask, so what attracted you to the position in the first place to be an esports intern, since it's so different from your major?
So I mentioned previously that I'm pursuing project management, and I learned about that through the language service industry. And when I saw like the job posting, it was like kind of adjacent to project management, even if it isn't exactly like the position job title. Also, like, how do you say, in entertainment type positions, I feel like are not readily available or widely available to college students. So when I saw that, I'm like, even if I don't go down the esports path for my career, like as like the end game, I know I have to take on upon this opportunity because these kinds of opportunities don't come by often. And if they do, they're usually very technical. And my major is not that technical compared to like a STEM major. So also, I'm a gamer too. Like I don't competitive game. I'm very bad at games actually. But yeah, like I've
also
never
love games. I mean,
yeah, there are a lot of. I play Stardew Valley, so that's definitely not competitive gaming. But yeah, I saw that opportunity and I knew how to take it up because it was a very unique opportunity. We're actually the first um, esports center that's owned by a municipality. So like in Texas. So like that these kinds of opportunities don't come by often. So I knew I just had to apply and see what happens, see where the wind carried me. And here I am, and I very much enjoy my internship.
well, absolutely. And that's the thing about internships. Sometimes you end up learning things that you never dreamed that you wanted to do or even learn. So everything's an opportunity. And like for project management, it sounds like you really have gotten to do a lot of things related to the field that you eventually want to end up in. So outstanding. All right, Humeria, let's hear from you.
I have been interning at Basi Insurance. It's an insurance company for a month now, since starting in September. And over here, my responsibilities include gathering data from the company's website, creating data visualizations, analyzing statistics using Google Analytics, and also generating multiple email reports, giving business insights and stuff. It's been incredible experience and an excellent learning opportunity to expand your knowledge, and particularly in the areas of data visualization and analysis. I have basically applied for this internship through Handshake back in July, I suppose. Handshake is undoubtedly the best platform for students to explore multiple employment opportunities. As a part of the application process, I submitted both my resume and cover letter. And approximately a week later, I was invited by my supervisor, Tom, to schedule my interview, which primarily consisted of theoretical questions of data analytics, visualization, and stuff. And the interview process has lasted for a 30-minute session, I suppose. And then it was advanced to a second round in the following week. After a couple of hours, I received an email confirming my approval into the position and containing an offer letter. Yeah.
It sounds like too you've been able to do a lot of real hands-on projects that have helped the insurance company. Do you want to expand on some of those projects?
Yes, through my internship, I have gained proficiency in collecting and analyzing data from various resources, including both websites and other digital platforms. It involves data cleaning, data transformation, and the use of analytics tools like the Google Analytics. I have gained experience in creating compelling data visualizations that effectively communicate insights to both technical and non-technical stakeholders. And I have learned how to generate comprehensive business reports on data analysis. They provide valuable insights to inform decision making within the company and within the organization. My internship has enhanced my proficiency with various software tools relevant to data analytics, such as Excel, Google Analytics 4, and particularly the programming languages like R and Python. And working on real world data analytics projects has sharpened my problem solving skills. I have learned to identify issues, develop hypotheses, and implement solutions on data driven analysis. That was the best part of the internship.
Fantastic. I mean, it just sounds like all of you have had so much hands-on learning and really developed skills that really enhance your majors. And that's what an internship should be. It's supposed to be an experiential learning experience. And it sounds like you're all getting to do those types of things. Darsh, tell us about your experience at Seagate.
Sure. Thank you, Julie. Well, my internship was at Seagate Technology as an optical and process integration engineer. Well, I was in the Seagate's core wafer process integration team. So what does integration team do? there's a wafer process development team that takes all the wafer data, that takes all the process, that develops the process basically, and gives it to the wafer process integration team. And the part of the integration team is that it has to scale up to volume production that needs to be shipped out for it to be, built into a hard drive basically. So the wafer that I'm talking about is actually the part where we write data on it. So the wafers that helps them to data. So let's say we are recording this conversation. This will probably go into one of Microsoft's OneDrive, and that OneDrive is basically stored into a place. It's not basically cloud, but it's basically stored in a hard drive, which is managed by Microsoft. And so how do you make this hard drives, right? How do you make this process running so fast that it is, virtually going up and saving at some place, which is we don't know where it is, probably underneath the sea, probably in some data storage centers out there. So it was the most interesting part was, how do you make these hard drives, right? We always use Google Drive, we use iCloud storage for storing multiple photos and files and etc. But how to make this was probably the most interesting part here, right? And so I was in the 200 millimeter wafer fabrication facility. So like the one wafer is almost 20 centimeters in diameter, and so I used to responsibly monitor, identify, resolve inline process issues, and while maintaining efficiency, and then determine the critical dimensions of the laser light. That we had a component in our hard drives called as NFT, and how do you make sure that these crucial next generation Seagate drives perform as they are expected to into the actual hard drive that gets shipped out to our customers, and then presented jump data analysis is basically, if these wafers are going through multiple process, how do you make sure that we have the equivalent data for every wafer that goes through these positions, right? And so all these processes, and also one of the projects also included where I proposed a solution, where I proposed a process which helped Seagate in saving about $10,000 right away, um, um, to help their process improvement and get more yield kind of thing. And so scrutinize, identified root cause of major wafer defects as well. So I had a big role in how do you reduce the defects, because in such volume production facility, the yield, the defects are very most likely to happen because you have multiple flow of gases, you have various processes where you use chemicals, and there's much higher chances that we may end up messing up something, or maybe we have some process issues anywhere. So how do we make sure that all these processes are solved within time so that we don't get back off in their yield process? And also a very important point to be to highlight here was these all processes and these all the wafers that we're discussing right now is not out there in the market yet. So I had the privilege to serve on things and work on products that are already not out there in the market, and it's just in the developing stage. So kind of the team that defines the roadmap for Seagate's future and as well. That was a great experience, and uh, well, in December time, I was just applying to many of the roles and I was not ending up anywhere. I was just getting interviews, but no offers out there. And so in December, I get an email from my manager that, hey, we were looking for an intern. And then I applied to the whole pool, and it gets all the resumes are in the pool, and managers have the ability to go through all the resumes, which are not even for that requisition, but they can access all the resumes. And so my manager was one who approached me and said that, hey, let's talk over the interview. And I was again ghosted after the interview for 2-3 months. And right in February, just a day before my birthday, I get a call from a recruiter and saying, hey, we're extending an offer for you in Seagate. I was like, wow. I mean, I was astonished because I thought it's a birthday gift and let's accept it, and let's probably do an internship here. But a major point here is, while for all the audience and students watching this, always prioritize your experience, prioritize your the things that you'll be learning in the internship more than what you will be earning from the mentorship. Money should always be a second priority here, and your experience is something which is going to define you, right? Your salary is not going to define you. I mean, that's eventually, we should always consider this as a byproduct. Money is, if you do good work, money will come. So always, thrive for experience, strive for things that you can learn, strive for things you can deliver, and act on it. And probably how do you make sure that you're not busy? I mean, how make sure that you are busy in your whole time, and how do you apply science things that you're learning already? How do you apply into companies and make your debut over there is something which should be of primary. That should be the mindset probably while applying as well and doing the internship. So
thank you for that, Darsh. And yeah, I'll never look at my cell phone the same way again. Who realizes that all of that goes on? All the processes and planning, how exciting that those things are going to be future projects for Seagate, that you will look for that in the future. So you guys have talked about a lot how you found your internships and the application process. What advice or specific tips would you give UTA students when they're seeking an internship? Because, when you go on Handshake, there's so many positions. They're all over the country. Some are remote. It's a little bit overwhelming. They may want to give up at some point because it is so daunting. What advice would you give to a UTA student seeking internships?
Well, I guess
we can start with you, Darsh.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I guess the first point is to be in the race, right? If you're running a race for the internship, you're, already in the marathon, right? It is important to be a participant first, right? So how do you become a participant is by applying. Probably this is the best time if people are interested into joining a summer internship. This is the best time to apply. Please don't underestimate that, companies would not hire since there's a long time and it's a while for summer. They plan out their requisitions very well in advance. They already plan for a year from now that what are you going to do next year and what's going to be the strategy for next year. So it is important to have your resume ready right now and apply to internship positions, requisitions. I know I personally have reviewed a lot of, I've been in my search engine optimization as well. I am a participant now for a full-time job or an internship in spring, and roles are already out there. So this is the best time to apply. And so to basically get considered for an internship, it is important to apply first. So the first thing is apply, and then have your resume ready and make sure that whatever you want to have in those positions you have on your resume, you have those keywords which are actually on the job description, right? That pops up on their hiring manager's screen, or while in their pool of candidates that they want to interview for their acquisition. So it is important to first apply, have your resume ready for that, have those keywords, those technical words that they're looking for in the resume, and be very active on LinkedIn. I would really highly recommend to, contact talent acquisition leaders out there, recruiters of every company, and connect with them, ask them about the requisitions, apply, and then follow back up with them. Also, get engaged, be very active on LinkedIn and all these social media applications, which eventually is going to help you in being in the professional positions, I guess. So probably these two primary. Yep. Initial.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we've seen, and that's a good point. The summer internships, we're seeing those already posted this fall. So not that they won't be posted closer to summer, but some of those bigger companies, they'll have already started interviewing this fall and in early spring. So you need to act early. And as far as having your resume up to date, if you have any questions about your resume or want someone to review it, that's something we can do here for you at the Career Development Center. So, always have an updated resume and get help if you need it. Humaria, did you want to add anything to tips that you have for other students?
Yes, as Darsh said, begin your internship search in advance. Start early as many companies have early application deadlines. And definitely, yeah, I would recommend please take advantage of the resources offered by university's Career Services Development Center, and they would help you with resume building, interview preparation, and identifying multiple internship opportunities. Also, customize your resumes and cover letters. Networking is, yeah, definitely a key to finding internship opportunities. But then try attending career fairs, alumni events, and industry conferences. I guess we had a couple of workshops in the MAC last week, and try attending all of those, and do connect with professionals on LinkedIn, build an online presence, try creating professional online presence, ensure your LinkedIn profile is up to date, follow up on company websites that you have applied earlier, prepare for interviews. That'll help you with, yeah.
All great advice. That you need to come work for us. I love that you are so in tune with the career search and everything. Very good. Who would like to go next and add to the conversation?
I can.
Rashad, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. Okay. I'll address a bigger thing here. So, especially for international students, we have a cap of you have to have complete, 5 subjects to be eligible for internship. So what do you do in that time? Suppose when someone is coming for spring, you cannot do internship in the coming summer. So that time should be spent on looking for internship opportunities and networking with people for your next year, right? So that's for the spring people. So whoever is coming in fall, uh, fall you have a very good chance. I mean, you start applying for your internship, and by the time of the next summer, you are eligible for you are eligible for internship. So for fall people, your work for summer internship has to be right after August. Like you start applying all the early application, but someone who has joined in spring, like you even though you're not eligible for the internship, but still your search and all the networking and all the resources that you are accumulating should be for your next summer. Like you are preparing a way in advance. So please, I would suggest don't waste that summer even though you don't have an internship, but keep all your resources in place, right? That's the first thing. Whichever intake you come, you are getting yourself ready for internship. So if you don't follow that, then comes fear of missing out. Like there are tons of companies in LinkedIn today. I see as a software engineer new grad 152 1,52,000 jobs, right? So I mean, but then you look at your friends, they are applying and you say, oh, did I miss something? No. I mean, how do we do that to avoid fear of missing out? Keep all our resources in place. First is handshake, because ha- like the good thing about handshake is connected with our college, and someone in the career development is ready to help with all the handshake jobs. And how do we get forward? If there is a recruiter attached to the handshake job, we can, it's easy to reach out, right? So first target will be the handshake. Apply to all the jobs that are in handshake. Go to first see the jobs in handshake. Go to LinkedIn, and then filter who are from UT Arlington. So and then you will be able to see a list of people who have already interned. Look for the past 2 years which you think might be a recent thing, and shoot a 150 words message, or sorry, shoot a 300 characters message. That's what LinkedIn allows. And shoot a message to 10 people. Here it's, every time you do these things blindly but have an intent in the back of your mind, it's a probability game. So if, suppose let's say you shoot a message to 5 people rather than sending 15 people, your probability decreases by a percentage. But that that helps a lot. When your volume increases, you shoot message to people from handshake, see those jobs, That's one process. Another process is you go to LinkedIn, or else I would suggest go to Google, search on Google Jobs. That has a better filtering criteria to go for internship. Suppose you are looking for internships, like summer intern, look for those keywords and search on Google. And then and in the Google you will have a pretty like documented list, and you can apply directly from there. So that's another thing. And what else? For someone like, if you are in an undergrad setting, you have got 4 years, 4 summer interns, you have got chance to, figure out which one is good for you, try different roles for internship. So in that way, you have a chance to try different thing in next year. But when you are in masters, you don't get that chance. So you have to double your efforts in getting, I won't say the right internship, in getting all your resources for what internship you are doing. I know, I mean, like there can be at times where you want something and you're not getting, but you should know, if I'm getting into something, I should make the most out of it, right? So we for masters we get to do only one internship. So the bigger homework to do is, whichever company we're applying, there should be a list of good companies, like good companies in the sense which are where our UT Arlington students have worked, where our alumni network is there and they have offered full time. Or maybe if you are doing an internship, look on LinkedIn. If suppose, let's say I am interning at Paycom, look at Paycom. If at all they are giving internship, are they extending co-ops? Like after summer, are they giving you fall opportunities? Are they retaining you and they giving you part-time employment? So that homework should also be done. So look for Paycom if they're giving fall co-ops. That's a bigger thing, right? Like suppose, let's say you do summer internship, you have 2 more semesters, you do part-time job until you get a job, full-time job. So those things will also help. Yeah, so that's one. And then yeah, connect to hiring managers or university recruiters. That's a better way, to get hold of people instead of messaging senior managers and all. So hiring managers and university recruiters, those look for students. Like, I know the market is difficult now, but in a general scenario, these two class of people in the company are looking for us. So we should make messages and put all the links. And yes, one more thing, I'm not sure if for other profiles, but a good portfolio website highlighting all the achievements in a good way is very much necessary to put in your profile. That makes the visibility even more. And all the academic projects, it does not hurt that you put your academic projects only on GitHub. Like suppose, let's say there are various job boards like Handshake, LinkedIn, Untapped, Ripple Match. You should have all the information in sync across all platforms. Suppose, let's say a recruiter sees your profile in every other job boards, your information should be in sync. Like you got a new intern position, everywhere it should be updated. So yeah, those are like all my tips that I want the next interns to follow at least.
That is very great advice. And yes, I think students don't realize all of the experience that you have in doing your research projects and things in the classroom that you can put on your resume or your LinkedIn profile. So I appreciate that tip for our students. Michelle, what would you tell to students as far as seeking an internship? What advice would you give?
So I'm still an undergrad, so everyone else I didn't realize how much more work you had to put in to getting an internship if you're like doing your master's. So this has been very illuminating for me. So I would thank you everyone for your advice. I'm learning a lot too. For me, like Rishab said, undergrads have more time to do internships. So for people seeking internship, and especially for students who are not sure what career path they want to go down, like, because I still kind of have that doubt, and throughout my time as a college student, I'm like, I don't really know what path to take. My advice was to apply to things that align with your values, even if it is not like a specific career. And that's what I did for the esports internship. Like I know like the job title didn't say project management, but the description kind of aligned with that. And like I think one of the bullet points was building an inclusive community. And I feel like I tend to gravitate towards things that has to do with supporting people and like creating this inclusive space where like no one is excluded. So I really recommend that. Um, yeah, I also recommend networking with your professors. I know everyone mentioned like hiring managers, like recruiting people, but I did an internship over the summer with a language service provider, and that position I got through my professor, and it wasn't even like an internship offer. It was actually like a temporary interpreting contracted position. And at the time I was like, I don't know, I don't think I'm in the right fit for this position. But since I had like this contact within the company now through my Korean professor, I was like, hey, I saw that you had project management employees at your company. Is it possible for me to just come shadow, or like, is there an internship available? And it was a very, I guess, informal process. Like I didn't have to apply to anything. They were just like, we've never had anyone ask for a project management internship before. And I guess they really liked that I showed that initiative. I did my research. And so they accepted me, and I interned at the language service provider at Teneo Linguistics over the summer, and it was very illuminating for me because I am a language major. We talk a lot about translation, but I've never seen it in action, I guess. And that internship, I shadowed a life sciences project manager, and he like since it was more informal and it was a smaller company, it's a small company. Like he set up other days where I could shadow other project managers throughout the company. So it was like I basically got to see how the whole company worked. And I think that's still really valuable. Like don't be afraid to ask, because at the end of the day, we're all dealing with people. Like, and I feel like if they see you like as a person and you like respect their time and make sure you do the research about their company, then I think it shows that you like really want the position, you know? So that's my advice.
Absolutely. And that is such great advice and true. You know, being an undergrad, you do have a little more flexibility to try different things that you might, like you, stumble upon a career path that you didn't really think of before. And that's what your undergraduate degree should be about, is that discovery and being able to try different things and connecting with your professors. That's another great resource for finding internships and learning opportunities. So I appreciate that. So to students, what would you say? They've got the internship, they're so excited, they're starting this summer. How can they make the most of it? What would you advise them? Michelle, we'll start with you. We'll go back around.
So I would recommend, this is very simple, obvious advice, but just talk to your colleagues, just talk to your coworkers, because my first internship, I mean, honestly, even now, I'm like very shy. Yes, I was excited about these new opportunities, but I had never been in like a professional setting before. So like I was very reserved for my first internship. I was scared to ask questions, but thankfully through the mentorship of my like project manager that I shadowed, he was like, my advice for you is to just talk to other people and see how they came into this position, and like how can you be successful at like what you do. And I think that really helped me, like just getting to know people on like a very people level rather than it being all about business. I think building those relationships is really important, but that's my advice.
Great advice. Who would like to go next? Darsh?
Well,
Again. Oh.
sure. No, yeah, I mean, well, a small advice, a piece of advice to add on here. Well, let's say we are trying for an internship, right? You have 2 semesters to go. You have a fall semester, you have a spring semester, or probably you have a year if you come in spring semester. Well, what you can do in here is you can probably approach professors here for a research assistantship positions and maybe help them, volunteer them into research projects. Well, that's how I got in here. When I came here, I used to, cold email professors here who were involved into research and were looking for students to handle those projects. And well, that's how I got into my research assistant position here with Dr. Weidong Zhou, and really helpful and grateful for the opportunity that he has given out me here. Well, I got a hands-on experience on the nanofab facility that we have in UTA here. How do you use the resources? That should be probably the mindset when you get in here, right? How do you make sure that you're presentable in your interview for internship as well? Well, let's say you do get an interview, what are you going to say there, right? You're going to talk about your projects, but what currently you're doing is also add-on thing that probably would help you in getting that internship as well. So probably networking with professors here around, looking for, actively looking for, hungry for knowledge, right? You're here to learn, and you're here to do practical work along with your academics, and learning those academics, applying those practical knowledge into real-time projects funded by companies is something which you can, that's the most ideal thing anyone would want to do here. So probably, use the resources, use the time that we have here while searching for an internship as well is critically important too. And
absolutely.
And let's say you get an internship, right? Be open to your hiring manager. Say that I am here to learn, and I put me in the most complex situation wherein I can, contribute, learn things. I didn't have to go in the fab, but my interest, I wanted to see how the fab looks like, how the volume production facility looks like. And my manager was really open to me. I used to go inside while maintenance as well, because you really need to see inside what's going on in the system, how the machines are really made. And that's what the engineering curiosity takes you along, and you get to get these experiences, right? So it's important to have that mindset to learn things, right? It's not just fine, yeah, everyone is for money here. I mean, money is something which is byproduct here, right? But still, the critical point here is to gain knowledge, right? How do you get paid is through when you deliver such big things, when you deliver such processes, right? When you deliver to the company, when you're helpful to the company, right? Valuable for the company. That's how you make money. And even Seagate, I mean, a company which you work for makes money as well. So how do you be very valuable to your company is the mindset you should always put forward and do things here. And always you should utilize your time, right? Even in, let's say you don't even get an internship, that's not going to be the end of the world, right? You have a long time here. You can probably approach professors, volunteer for work, right? You should convince the professor that even without money you are able to work here, because you're for learning and knowledge and not for just money. So if he sees that hunger, he would definitely fund you. Nobody's gonna take your time for free here. So that's something which helped me in growing here and getting an internship here as well. So that's probably a good piece of advice probably for people who have just arrived. This is the best time probably.
It is very good advice, because that's what makes an internship different from just a part-time job, is that learning piece, which is so critical. And Rashab, I want to ask you the same question about, because you and I talked at your experience at Paycom, you mentioned going to upper management and making the most of your time networking with them. Could you speak to that, please, a little bit?
Yeah, so like after you get an internship, so the one of the things that I did was in my free time, obviously, I used to, there were like in the conference place, there were a group of people who would take all the queries of the interns. So when you are in a when you are in an intern cohort where there are a large number of people, it's very difficult from the other end to remember your name, and if they don't remember, good things won't happen, right? So you will be lost in the crowd. So my work was, I didn't do it just for the sake of doing it. I just wanted to have an impact. Like, people should know my name at least. Like, whenever something comes up, yeah, I know that guy. So that was that was the result that I wanted. So I talked with the people in the senior management, like there was a technical new hire, and the other person was the third employee in Paycom. So I talked with them during my free hours. I just shoot them a message on Teams. Hey, can we meet? Yeah, please come to my office. So I used to go to them, and we used to talk about, not just work. Work was just 10% of the, of the entire time. So we used to talk how did they get into, like suppose let's say you work as a full time. There will be people who will take X number of months to get promoted. There will be people who will take X minus some number of months to get promoted. So I went through his journey. I asked him, how did you do this so quickly? He said, the answer is really simple. I take up tasks. I mean, I don't have any free time, and my few years of my work was just this. You take a few tasks randomly. Like, see, when when does this good work happens? When someone gives you the work, apart from that you take some other work, like that work should not be suggested by someone. Like, you should not be there should not be a manager who will only give you the work and you do that. You should do something extra to that, right? Because or else you will be leading a really normal life. So I talked to them. They said, yeah, these are the things I did from the past few number of years, and this is where I am. And I talked about immigration, I talked about sponsorship, because that's a bigger part in gonna be in my life in the next years if I'm gonna be in the United States. So and I got pretty good response from different people. And the best part was it was easier for me to access them. Like, see, they are senior people, packed with meeting, packed with work. But when I shoot them a message, hey, my name is Rishabh, I am an intern here, I just wanted to have a few minutes of conversation with you, they gave me the time. That was a bigger advantage, because there are times when people are really busy. I mean, why would they give you the time for some intern? They don't even know if you are coming as a full time or not. Why would someone invest their time? But they gave me the room to talk about things which made me clear about not just Paycom, about how the work goes, how do you excel in a position that you are at. So these all things that helped me in my free time. I used to work, I used to go there and then talk to them. And the other thing I would suggest is, whenever someone gets an internship, the starting thing is, like, if you are at a office setting, if you are going to an office, the some of your time should be spent, you should roam around everywhere, just to see where exciting things are happening. Be a part of it, stand there, be a put yourself in a little awkward situation. That should be fine, and you will be thankful to yourself that you did that. Be engaged in that kind of awkward conversation, because when you are at a company, people from all over the country are there, and I know there is communication gap, and there might be, every time you end up thinking, like, what if whatever I am trying to convey is not perceived the same way by others. I mean, if these things we think, then we will stop ourselves from making new connections and knowing what they are doing. So, and the best thing can be, if you talk to your teammates, if you talk to a group where exciting things can happen. I mean, even though that guy is from another university, you can end up doing a part-time project after your summer internship. That's the best thing can happen, right? So
Absolutely, and that, again, that common theme that we've talked about today, that networking and trying to learn as much as you can during your internship and meet as many people as you can before you get the internship and during, is just as important. So yes, absolutely right. Humira, what would you say to students once they get their internship?
Yes, try setting goals. It's not just about classes and your assignments. Do not be so reserved and don't isolate from yourself from just the university things. And try engaging in social activities, asking questions, build your network and stuff. Earlier, I used to work as a student assistant at UTA Parking and Transportation Services. And moving a step ahead, I have applied to internships on Handshake and I got into CPT, and then I had to resign my part-time job at UTA PAT's office, and that's how you move ahead. Engage on all online platforms, learn beyond the role, and think out of the box to the extreme content, and stay organized and curious. Keep a record of your accomplishments and records like certifications and stuff. Update your LinkedIn with all the certifications, rewards, or your academics. And that is what the recruiters are mostly interested in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice. I'm going to defer to David real quick because I know we're getting close on time. Do we have any questions?
First, fantastic information from the students. Just been a great panel. One piece of advice that I would add is don't discount Handshake in your Handshake profile. We send employers to your Handshake profile, so your Handshake should be on the level of your LinkedIn in terms of the updated information that you have included and making your resume viewable to those employers. Yeah, you've done a great job of responding to questions. Such a great job that we haven't had a lot of student questions. But one question that I receive often through LinkedIn messages and emails from international students, because the job search is so challenging, how do I do it? I know I hear a lot of students frustrated because they've applied for multiple positions. They're not receiving good news, no news, good news, or bad news in a lot of cases. So I was curious for our international students, if you would be willing to share how many internships would you guess that you've applied for before you got interviews and offers? And then what were some of the other specific challenges that you think international students face that other students would benefit from hearing about?
Mary, do you want to go first?
Oh, yes. I have almost applied to around 180 internship applications. And apart from that, I guess around 25 to 30 on Handshake and 180 on LinkedIn. So just don't lose hope. Try putting as many applications you can do. I used to make it up to 20 per day. And the best piece of advice is never lose hope. And I know cultural differences happen. So just try, build your network, understand the application process of the particular company that you're getting into. Just utilize university resources. And I am particularly a student from a 3-year degree, so I know how it happens. There are people from 4-year degrees, bachelor degrees. So yeah, coping with them I know that's pretty difficult, but then never lose hope. Try putting applications as many as possible, and have your side hustle getting done. Complete your AWS software or whatever you require in the role that has to be done. Make it your most priority thing, and just go with the flow. Do not lose hope. You will get into the better situation. Yeah.
Thank you. Does anyone want to add to that? Rashid?
Okay. Yeah. So the bigger thing is to sorry, what was the question? I mean, I skipped it. I was just listening to Himaria.
I was curious if you'd be willing to share, if you've tracked it, how many internships you think you've applied for, and then any specific tips for international students regarding the process.
Okay, correct. So applied to including Handshake and LinkedIn, there was at a time where I was keeping track that was 200 plus, and it went beyond that where I didn't keep a track of. Like I reached my bottleneck. I don't know. If I'm gonna keep track, much of my time is gonna be wasted. So let's lose the track and then apply it. It would be around 200 to 300 for sure. So my one suggestion that I would give whoever is applying, like if you're applying to 10 applications daily, like you should be very quick to see the job description. See whatever you are working. Suppose let's say out of 10 companies, there are 3 companies where whatever you have worked is well matching with the job description, fill those 3 applications very well. Like there is a website called Skill Syncer, which will take the keywords from JD, take your like keywords from resume and see if it's there or not. Like try to tailor the resume like accordingly. So that's one thing. Like apply 7 jobs as usual. Put very close attention to 3 jobs at least daily, where you can increase your chances. Like fill the application. If there is a cover letter, don't use any automated tool. Try to give that a personalized touch, so that if any hiring manager sees to that message, and if it's personalized and your intent is clear that you are interested in the company, some good things can happen. And if that 3 companies make another effort to shoot messages to those university, if they have university recruiting programs, or to the hiring managers, just to let them know, hey, I have filled the application and much interested in the position, and mention your top 5 skills and the email that you have used. That will fit in the 300 character message, and you can send it to maybe 10 people for those companies. So that will increase your chances. If we don't do that, we will keep a counter that I have applied to 200 jobs, but you have applied generously to 200 jobs. I mean, special effort should be given to at least 20% of the 200 jobs, where you can, increase your chances. That's the only.
Excellent point. Darsh, did you have anything to add?
Sure, yeah. I mean, I guess I have lost the count at a point where how many jobs as to I have applied, but I also saw a lot of constraints while applying, because some of the companies don't sponsor you the visa that you require here as an international, international status. But most of the companies, I would say, out of 100, probably 30% of the companies would be, having restrictions as to no international students or people having a green card or US citizens only should apply here. So I would say, but you still have the 70% of the playground that you can play here, and I think there are generous amount of companies here who are willing to sponsor your visa and have the ability to sponsor you as an intern as well. So I guess there is a constraint, but you can get through it probably. So that's there. And but out of the many jobs that I applied, probably I got 30 to 35 interviews, and then in the end I had multiple offers as well. So I had the option to choose myself where I want to go, and I choose the experience apart from the money over there. So the best experience, the best company that could give me the experience of a fab, have the manufacturing facility plus data analysis, is what I considered for me to be the best as terms of experiences is taken care of. So. But I would still suggest, still be that constraint being there of, requiring, there are companies who work with the government directly, so they have certain restrictions, some classified materials that probably they don't want international students to get there. So that's really fair, I guess. But you still have a good playground to play in the companies that are willing to sponsor your visa. So that shouldn't be a constraint, I guess, in my opinion.
Thank you, Darsh. And whether you're an international student or a U.S. citizen, I think just never give up. I mean, that's really all of us, even myself. I have applied, throughout the course of my career for many positions that I didn't get an interview for, but you just can't give up, and you keep improving your resume and your experience and take advantage of the opportunities that are put forth in front of you. So did anybody want to add one more last thought? We're out of time, but we can get a quick last word if anybody wants to add anything that we haven't covered already.
I want to add just one line. Like whenever you see any job, just go to this website h1bgrader.com. That will tell if they have sponsored in the past for international students or not, and then you get a good chance. I mean, you apply, so that your every application, if you go serially by applying, it will take 5 to 7 minutes of your time. So at least to save that, go to the website h1bgrader.com to see they're sponsoring or not, and then you can take a chance.
Thank you for that. Anybody else?
So, I mean, we know we are all in this race, right? To get a job, to get an internship, but don't miss out on the opportunity to live this life, right? To live the life as a student here. As a university student, you have a lot of access to a lot of things. So live the life, right? We are here to live a life and make a living. And so don't miss out on that while searching for jobs, internship. That's all going to happen in time, and that will happen. But living the life is very important. Living the life as a student here is important, and so don't miss out the chance to enjoy your life as a student, as a bachelor, or it's really important to you know you make out as a student, and then accomplish yourself. You see yourself grow in these years, right? And how do you see you transform yourself is all important while applying for these jobs. So live the life, enjoy the student life that we have. That's more important. And these things will go, it'll follow for but yeah, even the person has to be there. The intention should always be the same, but living the life as well is really important. So let's enjoy life as well while pursuing the spirit of
I couldn't agree with you more, Darsh.
right. So,
Michelle, would you like to add anything?
I mean, everyone said just such great things already, but I completely agree with Darsh. Like, there's a life outside of searching for a job, and yeah, you should totally make time to live the student life. And even outside of that, like things will come. I'm just reiterating what everyone else said because everyone just said such great things that I completely agree with. But yes, things will come. I am actually like an older student. Like I left school and then I came back to undergrad. So like it takes time, but it'll come. It'll come.
Thank you, Humira. You will be the last word.
Yeah. Internships are always paid with experiences, so don't just see whether it's paid or unpaid internship. Just go ahead. It doesn't matter if you're getting a stipend or money. Yeah, you're getting paid with experiences and stuff. You have something to put on your resumes and portfolio. Yeah, it gives weightage when compared to other students' cover letters or resumes. So yeah.
Absolutely. Both of my internships for my undergrad and my graduate school were unpaid, but I wouldn't trade those experiences for anything in the world. So I just want to thank, first of all, our student panel. You all were excellent. I really enjoyed listening to your experiences and all of the great advice that you've given. And thank you to our audience that joined us today. We appreciate you being here and spending your lunch hour with us. Please remember to check out the links and the information in the comments section. And best of luck to everyone with their fall semester, which is very already halfway through. We don't have much longer. So again, everyone have a great afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity. Thanks.